as a Catholic, I guess I'm somewhat glad to say that we're no longer the largest target of hate crimes in the country, religiously motivated hate crimes. But the downside is that it's not that hate crimes have gone down in this country. In fact, they've gone up. Just the targets have changed. Jews are the target of 40% of total hate crimes last year, say Toronto police.
And to put that in context, Sheila,
yeah.
The Jewish population in the Toronto area, I believe, is less than 5%.
Right. And what do you hear from the liberals all the time? Islamophobia, Islamophobia, Islamophobia. But new data released this week by the Toronto Police Service shows that reported hate crimes in the city rose 20% in 1 year. It found that the Jewish community, while representing less than 4% of Toronto's population, was a target of 40% of reported incidents. They're outpacing everybody by a very large margin. Almost half, 46% of the reported hate crimes were linked to religion, with a further 24 based on race. The remainder divided among sexual orientation, ethnicity, and gender identity. Gender identity, just 4%, by the way. So can we stop giving these people a bunch of money, taxpayers' money all the time, because they face alleged hate? You're only facing 4% of the reported hate crimes. Now, that is not convicted hate crimes. That's reported. So some of those things could be reported, and then it's like, no, actually, misgendering you is not a hate crime. You're just going to have to toughen up. I'm sure there's some of that in there, too.
And, it's interesting because the report quotes Friends of Simon Wiesenthal Center. I can tell you in the last couple of weeks, I've been to a couple of trials involving a couple of reprobates, and Friends of Simon Wiesenthal Center, as well as a lot of other Jewish groups, they were there to make these kind of point, Sheila, that the disproportional amount of Jew hatred, which has spiked incredibly since October 7th, 2023. And we have Omar El-Kodari. That report is already up. You can see this is somebody who punched a Jewish lady in the face because he was tearing down her posters, which was about freeing the hostages, and she objected, and she's physically assaulted. And the guy was so brazen, he knew he was being filmed. He says, I don't care. Well, he will care. He'll be sentenced in July, I believe. And Kenneth Gobin, we'll have a report going up tonight. He's a multiple serious offender in terms of violent crime. Thought it was a good idea to hop the curb with his e-bike and go up to people he correctly presumed were Jewish, leaving a synagogue in Thornhill, and spat on them, did the Heil Hitler salute, said Hitler should have killed all of you, you should have all died in the Holocaust, and on it went, completely unhinged, like El-Kodari, totally unrepentant. There's no motivation for why he's doing this. He'll be sentenced tomorrow in Newmarket Court. The Crown is asking for, I think, 18 months, and his lawyer says 90 days is better. But, Sheila, the thing about Gobin is, and what a terribly unfortunate name. He's just... I
thought his name was Goblin.
Exactly.
I read it Goblin several times, and I was like, as I said in the morning meeting, it's like when those people look like their dogs.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's the hand of God, making sure that those people have the right dog. And I thought, you know what, this is him. This is whatever higher power making sure this guy has the right last name. But I was reading it wrong.
Yeah. And it's spelled Gobin, almost like Gobbin. And it's perversely amusing that, as he was spewing phlegm on people just for being Jewish, he was gobbing on them, if you know what I mean. But the point is, when it came finally last Thursday for his time to speak, Sheila, he did himself no favors. He was not repentant at all. He was not apologetic at all. In fact, he floated a conspiracy theory that in his neighborhood, the Jews, as he said, always come up to him and spit on him. And not a day goes by where he doesn't wake up and his car's trunk is covered with dead fish, which he blames on the Jews, of course. So, I mean, Sheila, his violent crimes go back to 2007. Why isn't this guy in a cage right now to begin with?
I think we all know why. I think we all know why. I think it's because of one demographic being able to get away with the treatment of another demographic. Mm-hmm. If these guys were serious about the rise in hate crimes against the Jews, they might do something about the anti-Semitic hate marches with calls to genocide on loudspeakers every single week in Toronto. We saw what they did for Mother's Day, by the way. This is how the pro-Hamas left supports Mother's Day, as they march against the Jews. When, guess who was the target of the kidnappings? Yeah. Jewish mothers. And that's because Judaism is a matrilineage culture, which means that, the culture survives through the mothers. It's passed from one to the next through the mother. Mm-hmm. And so if you want to end Judaism, you end the mothers. There's a reason they attacked them and kidnapped them. But that's what happens every single week in Toronto. I just want to read one more part of this, then we'll wrap up. We've got some chats too. Almost half, 46% of reported hate crimes were linked to religion. Oh, I already did this. Police figures show that the hate crimes against Jews made up the largest single group, with 177 reported incidents in 2024. And yet nothing's done. They can show up and protest on the lawn of the synagogue because the synagogue might have a speaker that they don't like talking about real estate.
Oh, Sheila, I'd like to correct you. Nothing is not done. Peaceful counter demonstrators are arrested. Members of the independent press, I speak of yours truly, and our boss, Ezra Levent, get arrested for, the thought that we might further incite the hooligans. Yeah, so they do some things, Sheila.
Right. They also bring coffee and block the roads. They block the roads for these guys.
And getting a couple of Islamist Toronto police officers to publish a podcast. Yeah, showing that.
About anti-Semitism. Yeah. About anti-Muslim sentiment. Yeah. And how the October 7th terror attack on Israelis really brought to light, I guess, how bad anti-Muslim sentiment was. And it was bringing more people to Correct. Islam.
That was the silver lining. More people converting to Islam thanks to October 7, 2023. These are two senior police officers.
Yeah. Now, how comfortable would you feel as a Jew reporting a hate crime to those guys?
Oof.
I guess as comfortable as you would within the Chinese community reporting anything to those Chinese spy cops that the liberals ran.
Yeah, why are they even still on the police force is what I would have to say.
Exactly. So 177 reported incidents. This compared to 79 incidents related to sexual orientation, 76 aimed at the Black community. Hate crimes against Muslims were down slightly from the previous years, 28 compared to 33, while those against Asians had risen from 56 from 31 the previous year. That is a substantial increase, by the way. But as the Simon Wiesenthal Center says, the report is confirming what the entire Jewish community already knows, which is that hate crimes targeting our community are increasing dramatically. If it hasn't happened to us, we know somebody that it has happened to. I think that's probably right.
Let's face it, Canada's economy isn't heading in the right direction. Inflation's eating away your savings, and government debt is out of control. No politician is going to fix that overnight. With Guildhall Wealth, you can hold real physical gold and silver inside your RRSP. It's a time-tested way to protect your retirement and take back control of your wealth. Call 1-877-8-SILVER or visit guildhallwealth.com/rebel to request your free investor kit. And hey, make sure to mention Rebel News.